Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk podcast, episode 143, and it's me, Dave, as your host this week, and I'm very excited. It's your chance to sit back, get yourself comfortable, and we'll bring you up to date with all of the weekend's football. The week's football. We're going to be talking news. I'm going to get my brain challenged in a quiz set by Josh, as usual. We'll review the weekend's Premier League football, and then finally, I've sent Josh an unsolicited wiki pick for him to stare at blankly and try and guess the player. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, then drop us a like, subscribe to our channels on YouTube and Spotify so you don't miss out. We're here every Sunday morning. Over to my co-host all the way in the UK. How are you doing, Josh?
I am okay, thank you, Dave. Yeah, doing pretty well. The weather's improving. I'm getting out golfing a little bit.
Nice.
It's all right. Yeah.
Good. That is obviously our second love after football. I think it's becoming more pronounced, the old golf.
It is. So. Yeah. You go back to the early shows in episode maybe 14, but probably not even to the episodes, probably 120. We probably haven't mentioned golf once, but now as we get older, we're both the 35 now, it's becoming more pronounced. And
it very much is. Very much is. You know, the mobility stops for other sports, so you have to drop into golf and...
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
I fear playing any kind of sport now which it requires me to run or anything because it just wouldn't work. My body would break.
I mean, did you ever enjoy that though? Playing a sport?
There was a point I did. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's not been like for a few years, say 10, 15.
I don't know. You put in a good performance at the AAA Cup when I came back to the UK. So.
I moved. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Right. Straight away in the comments, we have got praise for your shirt, Joshua. So.
Oh, thank you.
Talk us through it. Why Fiorentina away?
Well, so actually, it was because when a couple of years ago I was playing football and I obviously have a plethora of white shirts, being a Spurs fan, and I needed something which was red, you know, so you can mix it up and have different sides. So I had looked through, I think it's Classic Football Shirts, the website, This one stood out to me. I like a little bit of a kind of retro feel to it, red, and it's also an intriguing shirt. It's not like, oh look, I obviously wouldn't be getting an Arsenal or a Man United or Liverpool shirt. I need to go something a little bit further afield, and I thought, people might not realise this is Fiorentina. Yeah, lovely.
Nice. Excellent. Love a good backstory to a shirt as well.
Yeah.
And I love a classic shirt. I love different shirts. And obviously I love Fiorentina because they wear purple. So ticks all my boxes, Josh. It ticks all of my boxes. But let's crack on. News. Right. You go first. What we got?
Yeah, we're kind of entering the kind of business end of the season now, aren't we?
Yesterday's game was the first game of the last month of the season. So.
Oh my goodness! So the season ends in May. Yeah, of course.
Season ends in May.
Yeah. Happy May. Happy birthday to a friend of the pod, Aaron East.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Okay, so what I want to talk. This week has been a bit Spurs. The Spurs news for me this week has been all around the manager. We obviously got some other bits we'll mention. I'm not going to be focused on Spurs, but yeah, the manager talks. Obviously, it's been a while now, a couple of weeks almost since Mourinho got sacked. And it's now been, and I feel like the media know what they're doing here. They are just putting out news and clickbait and making it seem like Levy doesn't know what's going on because they're fanning the hatred towards Enid. I'm not saying he's been great, but it's just rumours people are hearing. And then you look on Twitter, latching on to go, oh, God, get him out. It's like, oh, come on, just relax. There's no need to find a manager before the end of the season. If we do have one, great. Obviously, the Nagelsmann train has definitely departed the station now.
Yeah.
As he's joined Bayern, and Germany do have a tradition, it seems, of announcing manager moves mid-season.
They do, yeah. It's very common. It's very common in Germany, yeah.
And I also know the kind of the talk around Nagelsmann moving was very much a player transfer move. It was like, oh, this will be a big fee. They've negotiated terms, and this will be a big fee to move. It's like, since when did managers' moves become akin to player moves? It was a strange one.
Do you think if in a hypothetical situation, COVID hadn't have happened and football hadn't have been affected by this thing and transfers were still happening, do you think it still would have been announced as a £23 million transfer for a manager, or do you think it would have just been Nagelsmann's moved and here's Mbappe moving for 200 million? Do you think it would have been swept like under the rug because of...
Yeah, I think they're probably wanting to... I think newspapers like to paint a picture of money transferring in football and it being big news, and so if there's a lack of big news in transfers, this becomes big news in managers. But yeah, so I mean, we've been Erik ten Hag, the Ajax manager, linked.
That train's gone.
And trainers seemingly left. I don't know if it's not out of sight yet, but he's got his Ajax ticket rather than his Spurs ticket.
Yeah, you're standing on the edge of the
Amsterdam rather than London is on his destination.
Yeah, you're standing at the edge of the platform, sort of just waving as it goes into the distance.
Yeah.
Are you...
No, it's like maybe it's a tube station. It's like he could quickly come back with a train in the other direction. It's not a main line. And he's like gone for another hour. It's a tube station that missed. Brendan Rodgers. Maybe going from we're going from Euston maybe up to Leicester. Not quite sure. St Pancras maybe. He said he hasn't bought a ticket. We're really hammering this analogy. He said he doesn't want this train ticket to Spurs, but I'm not 100% convinced because I'm not sure you can fully trust Brendan Rodgers' word. But the perverse thing with both these managers is Spurs fans' most notable reference point to Ten Hag is us knocking him out of the Champions League.
Yeah.
And if Brendan Rodgers was to get the Spurs job, it'll probably be because they slip out of the top four, maybe at Spurs' expense, which is just going to be really first. Yeah, we got Brendan Rodgers. Absolutely annihilated the second half of Leicester season last year and fell out of the top four when it looked impossible this year. So well done, Spurs.
Yeah,
getting that manager. Yeah,
it is an interesting one because I honestly don't think Brendan Rodgers will leave Leicester to go to Spurs, even if they drop out the top four. I think he'll stay another season, and he may move to another club later on next season or early next season. I think Ten Hag is done. I think he's played you good and proper to get a bit more money out of Ajax and stay at a job that he's doing very well at. Obviously,
he's just got everything working at Ajax, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
nice.
Both
of them have. Both of them have got good situations. You're not taking a manager from a situation he's a bit infuriated with. They're both achieving set to achieve what they want to achieve.
Very true. So then we've got, as mentioned in the comments, dark horse is Roberto Martinez, which is, I wouldn't want him as my manager. And then is it Ragnick?
Ralph Ragnick.
Ragnick, yeah.
I've read a little bit about him over the past week. There's a name I kind of knew but didn't know. Clearly has an eye for talent, has a plethora of players who he's brought in, and also a plethora of managers who've kind of learned from his school of thought. I think he seemingly would be more suited to a director of football role, but they seem like him and Levy are both control freaks, and it seems like a world in which those two coexist, not much else exists, and it's kind of a bit of a black hole, and it'll just be drama. I'm not sure where I'm at the moment of who to.
It's an interesting one because obviously you've got the Euros are happening. And national managers could lose their jobs, and there's some high-profile national managers. There's some people that you could take out of that. Then you've got, I don't know, would you give a chance to someone like a Hasenhüttl, Bielsa, try and prize them away?
I tell you what, a Bielsa would be more appealing to me than Hasenhüttl. I think I'd take a Bielsa. But I think if you were then to start looking at, say, Parkers and even to a slight extent Potters, you're then kind of just edging a little bit too far down the rankings there for my liking. It's not very much. It's just. But a lot of people go, "Oh, he's never going to do it, was he?" It's like, it's just a bit it's unsure. I'm intrigued to see where this goes, and I'm happy for it to just teeter along. But I would prefer an earlier appointment so they can start analysing the players they want, get their training in place, because we do need to change our style of play, and that may take some tinkering.
Okay, fair enough then. So that's us basically covering that. So let's quickly jump on to the League Cup final. We'll get all the Spurs stuff out of the way first. Lackluster.
It was always going to be a smash and grab. We were never going to outplay City, but
no,
we had two shots the whole game, both from distance. One from Toby Alderweireld, which went wide, and one from Lo Celso, which took a save. That's it.
So, who would hypothetically again? Would it have been better with Mourinho?
It would have been much the same. Maybe so. Mason did okay. He set ourselves up okay. There's a little bit too much. I don't know because they're both similar players, and they're both. You look at them both similar players. Mason versus Winks. You feel like they should be friends. And he just seemed to have a lot of faith in Winks when Winks didn't really offer much. He offered as much as you'd expect him to offer. He was very safe in possession, not progressive. And he brings on Sissoko. And then you hear Gary Neville on commentary, because Sissoko's good at moving the ball forward. It's like, and Ndombele isn't.
Yeah.
Like probably one of the best in the league at moving the ball forward in tight positions and doesn't get a look in. So I would criticise Mason's substitutions. The play was okay, but yeah, we're never going to win it with what he brought in. We needed it on Ndombele or Lamela, but Man City are just the best.
Yeah, juggernaut. It's a juggernaut at the moment.
Absolute juggernaut, and that's all. I mean, Mahrez was magnificent, and it was inevitable. It was a bit of a shame, yeah, for it to be a header from a corner or free kick. I think it was. But I mean, there should have been many goals outside of that. So it's not the way I want to see Spurs playing, and it's just a confidence issue. We have been so low on confidence for years now, 2.5 years. We need this new manager to breathe life into the side. Mourinho sapped it out, what was left remaining from Pochettino after a Champions League final defeat, and now we need someone with feel-good vibes of it. But you look at Spurs losing to Man City, and then you look at the Champions League midweek, and probably one of the best performances by an English side.
Yeah.
In away performance in the Champions League. Man City, first half, it was. I
mean,
okay.
It's sorry. Got to clarify that it's below Man United away at Juventus in '99. That performance, Man United at Juventus was much better, solid. Like the all-round performance, Man United was better. And I've got rose-tinted glasses on. I don't care, but yeah.
I'm not going to win this battle over arguing that point, and I have not rewatched that match in 22 years. So I will park that and
Thank
you. No, and say you're obviously roasting the spectacles, talking absolutely out your behind.
Yeah. But, very good performance. It was incredible. Yeah, it was a very good performance, and
it did bring back a little bit of. I have fond memories, but I can understand why other Spurs fans don't. A bit of Battle of the Bridge. Way PSG turned out the second half, getting very petulant, very kind of cards flying everywhere. Obviously, red card. It did have that little vibe to it, like losing their heads a little bit. Obviously, the consistent factor is Pochettino there. It's not all over PSG.
No, but I think what that second half showed is that it's quite easy for Man City to roll them up. Pep can just tell him, just keep the ball and move the ball forward, but you don't have to do it quickly as long as we keep possession. They're going to get annoyed. Chances are they'll get 2 yellow cards. Someone will pick up 2 yellow cards or give away a free kick that we can have a go from and things like that. I think, PSG haven't done themselves any favours with how that second half played out. But for the neutral, it was great to watch.
To see how they line up and how Man City line up this is, because obviously they have 2 away goals.
Yeah.
And PSG are excellent on the counter-attack. But at the same time, if they sit in deep, Neymar is incredibly. You kind of nullify Mbappe without any space behind, but Neymar in tight spaces will just do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah. No.
It'd be interesting, and we've always thought that Pep somewhat overthinks things in Champions League. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. It's an excellent kind of couple of games. I've really enjoyed that first battle.
True. I mean, on that thing about Pep overthinking things, I think that's a very good comment because I've forgotten about that he does overthink things quite often in Champions League semi-finals or big games and can maybe make things a bit more complicated. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how City line up.
Especially how his second string did yesterday, which we'll touch on, which gives him some food for thought, really.
Yeah, very true. So the other Champions League semi-final, Chelsea won, Madrid won.
This was a strange one because Real Madrid always gave too much respect to Chelsea by lining up and mirroring their formation, which was just odd. Like Real Madrid have almost had a staple kind of the back 4, the midfield 3, and then varying front 3. But that midfield 3 and the back 4 is having a back 4, not necessarily personnel, has been a consistent. To line up with a 3, find themselves somewhat lost until Benzema's excellent goal, really.
Yeah. Thoughts on Benzema? Fourth top goal scorer in the Champions League.
I used to absolutely love him when he was at Lyon and early Real Madrid days. Benzema and Higuain at Real Madrid were just between them they never really got the full love, but they just scored goals for fun. And look, I looked at Benzema and the stuff he was doing. I thought Harry Kane can't do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane talked about as one of the world's best, but the goals he scores and his all-round play is much more polished version of Kane. Obviously, Kane has some brute force in terms of his goal scoring. He just kind of just wheels things in, doesn't he? He just scores a scrappy. But yeah, I love that Benzema, and he's 32, and he's probably benefited from the hatred he gets from Deschamps and French national team. He doesn't have to play any national minutes, national travel.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of Benzema, and I've been, like you say, I think the Lyon days is where it sort of all came to a bit of a head, and then you're like, oh, and he's got a big move to Madrid, and then it all sort of worked. I think he's underrated as a player for what he does and how many goals he scores and the goals he scores as well. So, talk about Chelsea though.
Sheila Booth as well. He does.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true.
Chelsea. Yeah, some good players, some good performances in there. I mean, we'll talking later as well. Mason Mount is he's just going from strength to strength. Yeah. It's honestly a bit. I didn't realise he had this capacity. It's kind of like when Bale burst on the scene. He just kept on improving, and the bigger matches came up, and he played well in those big matches. He is really turning it on, and that 3 of the front 4, which are performing well for Chelsea, the Pulisic, Havertz, and Mount. 22 and under, they all look quite similar, strangely, and it's all exciting times. I mean, I suppose Werner is the cog in that, and he is doing stuff, but he missed that gilt-edged chance in that match.
We touched on it previously. He's been guilty of those a couple of times this season, and well, more than a couple, a handful, you would probably say, that he does miss those chances, and that's what you need to be. The striker. I was listening to the Peter Crouch podcast the other day, and though I'm a bit behind, so I was listening to the centre forward episode, and Peter Crouch was talking how it's like no one remembers the tap-ins, but as a goal scorer, that's what you live off, because most of your goals are scrappy, sort of you just get the ball in the back of the net, and that's what Werner's struggling to do at the moment. And yeah, it's disappointing to see because I like Timo Werner, but Chelsea look good. What do you think second leg wise? Then are you going Man City to win or get through?
I've got a feeling we'll see a All England final. Yeah.
Okay, an All England final. That'd be very interesting. So who would you pick? Who would you pick to win, and who would you want to win out of a Man City Chelsea final?
They're both the same answer.
Man City.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think that Pep would have been scorned by losing out on the treble and the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
and also once they get through this, they can kind of. Yeah, I don't know whether maybe overthink it again, but he can breeze through to the end of the season. True.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that is true. I didn't think about that. So, from a potential All-England final into one competition to the other competition, do you see it happening there? Have Arsenal got enough to...
I bet they are so lucky to have an away goal. So lucky.
Well, they're also very lucky to only be 2 down because their defence was absolutely shocking. Leno had a great game and they lost 2-1.
It was honestly they were so. They had that penalty disallowed quite rightly, ages to disallow Pepe's handball.
Yeah,
but I mean, is it Saka? This one just kicked the player. It's the Robert Pires kind of stick my leg out and kick someone and go down. It's so fortunate. I would worry that I think Arsenal would have something to prosper there and get a couple of goals. I don't know. It's going to be tight. That's the tightest out of those, obviously.
Well, yeah, because the other one we absolutely annihilated Roma 6-2.
Yeah, you mentioned the other day your only last week's pod, wasn't it? Your only reference point for playing Roma was 7-1, and you got the same amount of goals, just a little bit of a change in split, but pretty formidable second half, wasn't it?
It was an incredible second half. One, I'd love to know what Ole said at half time because it obviously made a difference. He didn't make any subs at half time, but. Just that the confidence that must now give the team to be 2-1 down at home and then just come and blitz someone like that in the second half is incredible. Shout out to Edin Dzeko. Don't know how he does it, but always scores at Old Trafford. He's so annoying. He's so irritating. Even when it comes off his knee and then he uses his left foot to put it in.
I'm gonna do a Dave Nichols here and absolutely hammer a fact.
And then say probably.
Yeah, 3 different clubs who play in 3 different leagues have scored in 3 times at Old Trafford in 3 decades or something like that. So he's played for Man City, scored at Old Trafford.
Roma,
and will be Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg, yeah. Must have been Wolfsburg, yeah. Bloody hell. Yeah, there you go. Good stat, good fact. I love that. So, possibly fact. Possibly.
So I presume you're assuming you will proceed to the final?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not saying Roma can't score 4, but I don't think they can keep a clean sheet. And I think if we go and get one away goal, 7-2 is looking a lot harder for them, isn't it? I think we were just... with how the league's going, we're sort of in a similar position to Man City, in that it's likely we're probably 90% going to get top four. We're probably 70% going to get second spot. 65 to 70% we're going to get second spot. So we can afford to rest a few players before the bigger games. I know Ollie doesn't really like to do that, but yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident because it's just 6-2's a walk over the park. And annoyingly, I'm very confident for the whole competition now.
How do you feel being effectively a kind of poor man's Man City in this? Like, is there still like you're trading behind him in the league, but you're the next best team. You're on course to achieve, win the second-rate European competition. Is there any part of you that is kind of like jealousy looking on, or are you just happy for Manchester United in this sense?
I think with how our previous recent history has gone, I'm just happy with the fact that we're second and we're in the final of should be in the final of a Europe competition, and it's a weird situation where it is really annoying. It's really annoying to see Man City that far out in front. It was really annoying to see Liverpool that far out in front when they did it ahead of Man City last season. But it's just sort of like that's what it is. They're so much further down that sort of fixed model that you have, and Liverpool were at that point last year and they got lucky with no injuries. Man City have had injuries, but they've kept that structure of the club, and it's just so far that any club is away from in the league. I think you've just got to they've won it at a canter.
It will be the interesting point of next year, though. I always say that we're retaining the title and the mentality goes away. Whether that now goes out the window for Man City, because it's time and time again, they must be every other year winning the title for like 3-4 years, I can't remember now. Whether they may be a chance that they can retain a title because they are ahead of the rest. Chelsea may have something to answer for, being a year under.
I think Chelsea will be their biggest push next season. I don't see it being us. I think we'll have a good season. I think we'll hopefully get Champions League again next season. Tottenham will be better. You would imagine it's not going to be as bad for Spurs. Liverpool, you would argue, will probably be better if they can keep that squad together. So. Yeah, but I still see this season. I just think you have to just look at Man City and go, they've nailed it. They've nailed this whole season. Like
they had that middle period of Gundogan, and it's just been a bit, bemusing, really. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, let's go on the news.
We've got one question in chat very quickly. How does 8th position get the Europa League? I'm pretty sure they don't get the Europa League. They get Euro Conference, the new third standard of European football. Which they're going to drop to, yeah.
I think it's only 5th gets Europa League, I thought, and 6th, 7th may have conference, but depending on the
Cup winners.
Yeah,
that's true.
It does get I didn't think 8th did get a position.
So no, I think 8th gets it now, doesn't it? Because of Man City winning the League Cup. I don't know. We'll have to look at the rules. But anyway.
Okay.
Let's move on then, Josh. Quiz? Yes, let's go to the quiz.
Ooh, la 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 la. It's quizzing time.
It is.
Right, you'll see on your screens, I have challenged Dave to name Champions League winning goalkeepers. This is finals since 2001. And I did originally have this set up to be to link to the club who won.
Right.
And then also the season they won, but I changed it to be the nationality of the goalkeepers. I thought it was a bit too easy.
Oh, okay. He's not happy. He's not happy. He's not happy with my gradings recently. Let's make it harder.
Overachieving. So you have 14 different goalkeepers have been in goal in the final, and I want you to name them. So we'll start, and it's in year order, but with the they've won multiple ones there included. So 2001 final, a German goalkeeper.
Now, I've got to go here. I have to go with Oliver Kahn.
It is Oliver Kahn.
I was tempted. I wasn't sure because I was like, obviously he was in goal in '99 for Munich. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how long he played after, because he was quite old in '99. I think he was relatively old in '99, like 32, 33. So that would have made him 35, 36 in 2001. So, but okay. I assume still with Bayern Munich, I imagine. obviously.
Yes, this was the beating Valencia. This one.
Right, okay. So,
Okay.
next one then. Spanish goalkeeper 2002. I would go with Iker Casillas from Real Madrid.
You are wrong.
Oh, man. It's very tough without the thing. 2002.
It'll obviously get easier as we progress to more modern day, and your memory would hopefully be more.
Yeah. Because 2002, I can't remember who won it in 2002. It must be maybe Barcelona then, which would have been. Oh my God, who was the Barcelona keeper? I can picture him. I just can't remember his bloody name. We'll come back to that one because I can picture him. Victor Valdez.
Okay. It's not Victor Valdez.
Oh, God.
So I will then lie to you on that one. You were right with Real Madrid. It's just that Iker Casillas was not in goal. It was Cesar Sanchez, I think it was, against Bayer Leverkusen.
Oh, damn. So I was right with Real Madrid. Yeah, okay. Well, safe in the knowledge that even if I had the club name, I don't think I would have got that.
No, that was probably the hardest one there, yeah. So we have a Brazilian won it in 2003, but also won it again in 2007.
I'm going to go AC Milan, and I'm going to go Dida.
That is correct. Well done.
Awesome.
We have a Portuguese goalkeeper won it in 2004.
Oh. 2004 must be Porto. And who was in goal for Porto? The guy that took off his gloves in penalty shootouts against England. I'm going to go Ricardo. No, not him. It's not Ricardo.
It's not Ricardo, but I'm taking that as your answer.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
I think I've got a feeling he was a Sporting goalkeeper.
Sporting? Oh, Ricardo was, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Who was Porto's goalkeeper in that game? Who was in goal for him when they beat us at Old Trafford and Mourinho ran up the touchline?
And Coutinho... Castinha, was it Castinha? Yeah, Castinha tapped in after Tim Howard flapped and
after he was offside as well. So
was he?
It was all came from an offside, yeah. Oh man, he was the Portuguese national goalkeeper at the time, Vitor Baia. Yes, come on, Vitor Baia.
8 points.
Whew.
Okay, a Polish goalkeeper won in 2005.
I mean, the only Polish goalkeeper I can think of that's ever won it is Jerzy Dudek. So
correct, Jerzy wobbly leg Dudek.
Yeah.
A Spanish goalkeeper has won it in 2006, 2009, and 2011.
Oh, that's got to be Victor Valdez.
That is Victor Valdez.
Yeah. Although, that must have been around Iker Casillas' time as well. So I was very quick there for Victor Valdez, but I got it right. So. Yeah, interesting. All right. Dutch 2008. That's got to be Van der Sar.
That is Van der Sar. Well
done. Brazilian
winning in 2010. Yes.
Who won it in 2010? Was that Mourinho's triple crown for Inter? He's kept a straight face there. He's given nothing.
I'm giving nothing away.
I'm going to go with Inter Milan and say Cesar in goal.
Do you want to give me a full name?
Julio Cesar.
Well done, Dave.
Oh, bloody
46% currently. Look at you flapping at the beginning going, I don't know if I managed it. You didn't get Cesar and you got Victor Baia on the second go. So you're doing pretty well.
Yeah. I'm happy. Okay, where do we get to? Czech Republic goalkeeper 2012. I'm basically, my filtering system in my head. I'm basically filtering by national teams at that time and who I can remember was in goal as first choice keeper, because the chances are they would have won the Champions League if that nationality. Do you get what I mean?
That is a weird way to do it.
It is a weird way to do it. Well, it's working so far, mate. So.
Well, no, actually, no. I say it's weird because obviously you don't have a club to work with. So yeah, that's right.
Oh, Petr Cech the Czech.
Petr Cech the Czech.
German. 2013, 2020. Who was German's? Oh, Germany's first choice keeper in 2010. He would have been Manuel Neuer, but there's no way he would have won it in 2013. Surely not. Who won it in 2020? Who won it last year? Yeah, Bayern Munich. Manuel Neuer.
Manuel Neuer, yeah. Why couldn't he win in 2013, Dave?
I just thought he hadn't been around that long, Manuel Neuer, 2013. Do you know what weirdly that came up on, you get your Facebook time hop things that come up on your phone, like, oh, this is what you said something like 12 years ago. Something like that popped up on my thing, and it was like, please, Sir Alex, beat Bayern Munich to the signing of Manuel Neuer, was on my Facebook post.
Oh, really? Yeah. He won in 2013 as Bayern Munich beat Borussia Dortmund.
Ah, okay. Yeah, okay. Spanish. Can I jump down to number 13 very quickly?
Yes.
2016.
How many Costa Rican goalkeepers do you know won 3 Champions Leagues in 16, 17, and 18?
1. Keylor Navas.
How many Costa Rican goalkeepers do you know who haven't won a Champions League?
None.
Yes, Keylor Navas has won it 3 times, matching Victor Valdes.
Yeah, okay, cool. So 11 Spanish 2014. 2014 Spanish. That would have been Spanish 2014. Barcelona or Madrid? No, that would have been Madrid against Atletico Madrid. Who on earth was in goal for Real Madrid that day? I'm drawing a blank here. That must have been too late.
Hook defence of Danny Carvajal, Sergio Ramos, Rafael Varane, Fabio Contrao was in. Di Maria, Modric in midfield, Bale, Benzema, Ronaldo up front.
I feel like 2014 is too late for Casillas, but I'm going to go Casillas because I can't think of any other Spanish keeper.
It is Casillas.
Bloody hell. Jeez. I guess that was 7 years ago. Yeah.
You seem to get your best score, Dave.
I know. I mean, I'm enjoying this. German 2015. Who won it after that? Who won it after Madrid? It wouldn't be Neuer because it would be included in the number 10 German. So number 12, I'm going to go to Stegen.
It is 3-1 Barcelona v Juventus. Morata getting the only Juventus goal. Rakitic, Suarez and Neymar closing out Barcelona.
And then we've done the Costa Rican. And then number 14, the Brazilian in 2019 is Alisson Becker from Liverpool. Bloody hell.
Wow. 89%, Dave. You dropped 1.5 marks. And it could have probably should have been 1 if you'd just had a little bit of
patience.
That auto goalkeeper, yeah.
Oh my word! I'm amazed at myself with that quiz. That was a very good quiz in terms of what I had to think about and place things together. But once I think you're right. Once it got to a bit more modern times, and I had done it by first choice national team goalkeepers, and then trying to work it out that way. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Let's have a quick check at the chat. Oh my God, Ross had number 1 Khan, 2 Cesar, 3 Dida, 4 Bayer, 5 Dudek, 6 Valdez, 7 Van der Sar, 8 Cesar, who went to QPR, 9 Czech, 10 to Stegen, 11 Casillas, 12 Neuer, 13 Navas, 14 Alisson, and then said, damn, I've got 10 and 12 the wrong way round. So, yeah.
10, 12 around, yeah.
Wow. Fair play, Ross. Fair play in the chat. That was impressively done. Right then. Good quiz, Josh, but let's move on to the reviews of this week's football. So take us away with the derby games.
We'll go to the Tim Flowers derby, Friday night. Tim Flowers is a funny one, isn't he? Like, nostalgia says, like, oh, he was a good goalkeeper, but was he?
No. Yeah, I know what you mean. Nostalgia from, like, Euro 96 sort of era says he was a good keeper, but he had David Seaman in the way, sort of thing.
Yeah, and same with, like, Nigel Martin. It's kind of like, were they actually any good?
When you think about it, if David Seaman got a big injury, we would have not enjoyed Euro 96 as much.
Maybe.
Or maybe they would have saved some of the penalties and we would have won it.
Did you realise Tim Flowers had embarked on a managerial career?
No.
Was managing Barnet up until recently, it seemed.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a dead end for managers, isn't it? Because Edgar Davids went there as well.
He did, yeah, but he's also been... Macclesfield Town as well, and as well as a few others. Okay, but we'll talk about Southampton-Leicester Friday night. This is obviously the scene of a crime from a few years back.
The 9-0.
9-0.
Last season, Josh. Not even a few seasons back. Last season.
A few years though, wouldn't it? It would be 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And that all started with an early red card, Ryan Bertrand, didn't it?
It did.
I can't remember who it was on. Yeah. This didn't start much better. So let's talk about this red card again. Jan Vestergaard, loose touch, plays the ball, try and play it out of the way, out of Jamie Vardy's path, then catches Jamie Vardy, all in the same motion.
Yeah.
Vardy goes down, ball just about runs through to keeper. Red card. Thoughts?
Thoughts are, when I first watched it, I went, like, when I first saw it in full, normal time, real time, I went red card.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
I went red card. Then I saw the replay and I went, he's got the ball. Yeah, the misplaced pass, and then he's made the tackle, got the ball, and the follow-through's just caught the player. Not much you can do about it because it was zoomed in on the action, and I was like, that's never a red card. Then they zoomed it back out again and showed that exact replay in slow-mo, and I was like, yeah, he's got the ball, but then he's caught Jamie Vardy and probably stopped him getting a goal-scoring opportunity. Yeah, I don't know. And I leant towards a red card. I wouldn't say it was... I was never definitive. I was never like, yep, that's a red card.
No, I flip-flapped as well. So originally I thought, oh, come on, what's he meant to do? He's played the ball and he's caught him. But when you actually pan out and see how much of a touch Vestergaard gets...
Yeah.
The fact that he's been his foot and being on Vardy's ankle stopped him getting through, he's denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity. He doesn't get enough on the ball for it to go straight back to the keeper, and therefore avoid. And so, if his foot is not planted within Vardy's leg, I think Vardy gets the touch on the ball.
That's what I'm sort of
denied a clear goal scoring opportunity. Therefore, I do think it's a red card. Although it takes a little bit of interpretation, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's where I agree with you. I think if the touch on the ball had been slightly more that it got to the goalkeeper, or was a full-on slide tackle that it went out for a corner. And then he caught Jamie Vardy.
Just get up.
Nothing.
Move on, mate. No red card. But the fact that the ball is still probably, especially Vardy, if you've got a choice of any striker in the world to latch onto a loose ball, it's probably going to be Jamie Vardy to get that ball.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I say probably Timo Werner would be the other one who wants to, but you wouldn't want to take in a shot.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those. I think that if you're the defending team and your player's made that tackle, you're like, that's never a red card. If you're the attacking team and your player's been brought down when you think he's got that goal scoring opportunity, it's 100% a red card. Yeah. And I think you're never going to get a good answer. I mean, even the comments, never a red, not a red. So in the comments,
but okay. So just to the listeners, commenters, do you not think he's denied him? Is it never red because you don't think Vardy's getting the ball? Because he's clearly stopped him.
Yeah.
So is there no goal scoring opportunity? So maybe while I watch it again with what I've said whilst we're talking, maybe have a look at it again. Do you think Vardy can get onto that ball? Because I really do think he can get onto that ball. Because
I think it does. It totally depends how you see it. Because as I said, the first time I saw it in real time, I was like, "That's not a red card." Sorry, it is a red card. Then I saw the replay that was zoomed in on the ball area, and it was like he's got the ball, so it's not a red card. And then they panned out a little bit, and I was like, "Well, he stopped a goal scoring opportunity." So I think it is a red. I could have seen how it could have been given as a yellow because it's more of a follow through, but it's a goal scoring opportunity, so letter of the law is red.
I suppose because it's the double jeopardy situation. Does that only apply inside the box?
That's in the box, I think. Yeah, that's only in the box.
Right, well, the good thing here is that Southampton did not S the bed at this point.
They didn't capitulate. No, they didn't.
No. They didn't capitulate. They maintained a strong defensive performance, lots of clearances, but Leicester were just. I think they having knowing they're a man up, they decided to try and work the ball into the box and kind of work the golden opportunity. Maddison, I would have found infuriating if I was his teammate in this match because he was just going, I'm going to line one up outside the box and try and whip one into a top corner. It's like, oh man, just give it a rest.
Yeah, I think you can see Leicester will. I think Leicester were going for the approach of pass the ball to tire them out, but Southampton just kept their shape really well, showed good character, kept a good shape, and didn't get drawn out to the ball when they didn't have to. And then people like Maddison got frustrated and started doing their shots like you were saying.
Yeah, for a Southampton fan, I think everyone you'd be happy that this performance came after a red card, but I think a lot of fans will be wondering where's this kind of heart and desire been for the last few months because it's been absent in a number of matches. Carl Walker-Peters, I want to shout out Carl Walker-Peters. I've always been a fan of Carl Walker-Peters. Obviously, Spurs sold him this summer, and it was somewhat of a swap deal for Højbjerg, and both sides have benefited from it. But I think with Spurs being the bigger club in this situation, and also in need of a right back, Spurs could have doubly benefited from this by having Carl Walker-Peters at right back and Højbjerg.
Yeah.
It all meant we'd have to flog Aurier to someone, which is not beyond the realms of possibility. Now we're entering the last year of his contract, and we're going to flog him for less. So it's annoying. I'm happy to see him doing so well because he's a very good footballer. He's reasonably two-footed.
Agreed.
Progresses the ball well, quite tenacious, but it's a shame to see him do it in a Southampton shirt.
And another plethora of an option to add to the plethora of right backs that England have at their disposal.
Almost every club has one. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has played very, very well. Leicester overall not playing brilliantly. They're sort of weirdly relying on Iniacho for goals, which you would never have said before. He's in a purple patch of form. Did he play? Yeah, he played, but he didn't score.
Yeah, he played,
Are they soiling the sheets, let's say?
Fingers crossed, they asked the bed. So they've got 4 games left.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Man United, Chelsea, last day of the season, Spurs. Let me tell you how this is going to work out. They asked the bed. It's left. Spurs need to win. Final day of the season at Leicester. Harry Kane scores late on to go 2-1 up. Everybody's jumping in joy. Last minute goal from Jamie Vardy shushes the fans, and Spurs don't go into Champions League. It's going to get that close.
So would that be Spurs bottling a sort of another final again?
Yeah. 2 hours of final. Yeah. No, that is. I mean, it might not even come down to Leicester and Spurs being in because there's obviously sides in between us.
Yeah.
Liverpool's still there, and Chelsea's still there, and even West Ham. But I can see Leicester essing the bed here.
Okay.
Really can.
I think Leicester will be in a very lucky predicament where they will get maybe a draw or a win against Newcastle. I think they won't ess the bed too much in that game. And then I think they'll come against the Man United team who are resting players, a Chelsea team who are resting players, and then have to play Spurs.
Chelsea can't do the resting players bit though.
Well, they can if they win the Champions League. They automatically get back in it.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have won that at the point of playing. Like, that'd be far too
true.
presumptuous.
Yeah,
Newcastle, I can see that because I can see by the time they play them, are they kind of home and dry? That's what you don't want. You don't want the old flips on. But Southampton's season's obviously done and buried. Leicester, I fear for them they may bury it themselves.
Okay, interesting. Quick comment then on the red card thing. You said you asked the comments to explain it. So, from a coach's point of view, I'd want my defender trying their most getting the ball. The Saints defender is doing that. His momentum takes him to the ball, and Vardy stubs his toe and means his ankle is caught. But it still denies a goal-scoring opportunity. The ankle catching Vardy.
Asking your players to try their hardest. That's almost kind of like try your hardest and be reckless or. Yeah, it's go for every ball.
This is where it's so difficult because it's not a reckless challenge, but it does stop a goal-scoring opportunity because Jamie Vardy would have got on the end of that ball before the keeper.
If I was a coach, I'd be saying, let's make a good first touch, please, centre-back.
Yeah.
Absolute shocker. But I understand the point. Let's go on to Palace v City, the Sun Ji-Hai derby, or Emmanuel Adebayor, because I think most people forget he was at Palace for a little while. We don't forget he was at Man City because he ran the length of the pitch.
What did Adebayor do at Palace?
I'm not sure much.
Yeah, probably less than Sun Ji-Hai. So.
probably, maybe on par with Christian Benteke. The Man City lineup was very much the lineup of a side playing 2 big Champions League matches either side of this. It was, it was rotate, but you bring in Sergio Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, Ferran Torres, and Aymeric Laporte, Nathan Ake, and it's like, wow, just
ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous.
So many left-footers in their defence. Left-footed. Yeah, 2 left-footed centre-backs, a left-back, and was Edison still in goal at left-footed as well?
Edison was in goal, yeah.
So out of their back 5, they had 4 left-footed players, and their right-back has been playing left-back most of the season. Brilliant.
It's ridiculous. They're just so good. We mentioned it before, Juggernaut, didn't we? We mentioned it before, Juggernaut, and you can bring Aguero in, and that is the sort of goal that whoever gets him after this, you're going to be hoping that he's fit and he scores those. What a finish. It was hit so powerfully, so quickly.
Oh, so pure, wasn't
it?
So
pure, yeah. Loved it.
As opposed to Torres' goal, which is far too near the middle of goal for me for Guaita to not get a touch. I mean, I can't wait to see what Aguero's doing next season. There's a few players where you think, where are they going to be end up next season because they're out of contract. It's going to be interesting.
I've still got Aguero going to Barca just to placate Messi.
I think there's going to be. I can see that with Barca going for the free transfer of Wijnaldum, Eric Garcia already there, Memphis Depay, Aguero, just getting that free transfer, keeping that money in the pocket.
Yeah, definitely. What are we doing about Raheem Sterling for England? What's going on here?
Because he's not be starting if he is in this form, and I say form being there's none of it.
But what if he starts for Man? What if he starts for Man City and they win the Champions League and he does okay? I mean, he's not scoring goals at the moment, but what if he does okay in the Champions League final?
I think he's already hit the bottom. I think he's on his way up out of the bottom of the barrel at the moment.
Just in time for the Euros.
Just in time for the Euros. So I think we will see him return to form, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of Man City play in the league for the rest of the year, because really they've got two big games left.
Yeah.
They've got the other semi-final and the final. It's interesting to see how they perform. Maybe it'll be freeing and they score goals aplenty, but I don't know. But then again, my player to come in for him would have been Jack Grealish, who's been out injured. So it's not like there's someone who I really want in that position. Whether it's maybe you have Mason Mount in that role instead, he would probably deserve it more if you want to put him that far.
I mean, that was actually just before we started said I've got a question to ask you on the pod, and I forgot about it in the news section because it was going to be the rules for the Euro squads have gone from 23 to 26-man squads. So who would be your extra 3 players? But we'll cover that next week or when we do our Euros preview podcast, because we'll go through it all for England in that. So good. Well, I mean, a very comfortable, easy win for City. The league's theirs.
It was pretty much wrapped up, and they are safe, but they've still not put many signed contracts in the filing cabinet.
No, very true. That is true. Yeah, it's very true actually. And from one win that we assumed would happen with Man City beating Palace to a game where no one saw this coming.
I don't know. I wasn't against this as being I don't want to act like I knew what was going to happen, but Brighton have been playing well. Leeds have. Especially when you see Leeds lining up without Phillips and Rafinha. That's when if you place an early bet, you curse yourself. You get those lineups out. You're like, quick, take your money, cash out now before it all starts, and whop on the other side.
In the derby, sorry, what was the derby?
Liam Bricker, and nice, just quite a nice central midfielder moving the ball around. He had a time at Sunderland as well, I think.
He did. Liam Bricker,
So as I said, Phillips Rafinha out. No dice. That is not going to work. You can't take your 2 best players out of the lead side and have it not work. But the other point I want to make is Patrick Bamford. So
we said it would dry up.
It's dried up. So first 8 games of the season, 7 goals. Last 8 games of the season so far, 1 goal. But it's. I suppose it's. Do they want to go for a backup next season? Or do they want to improve on him and Bamford be the backup?
Well, because they've got Rodrigo. That they've bought in, who I think will become their start striker next season. I think. And Bamford will become backup. Yeah,
Rodrigo's had a bit of a tough time. When you've got Rafinha, Rodrigo and Bamford on the same side, it's not fully worked a bit too much. Rodrigo's been the loose cannon there, been not quite. Yeah. It takes a while to get up to the kind of a Bielsa standard of the press and the positional play. But for me, I want to shout out again to Yves Bissouma. He is just an absolute joy. He is. I've always liked the way he moves with the ball. He's very calm in possession and moves it and just breaks it up. Moves it forward with a little shimmy and then plays a lovely movement.
Is he the player they have to sell to fund for a new striker, or is Danny Welbeck's that guy because of the goal?
Danny Welbeck's not that guy, but Danny Welbeck will be there next season. Yes. Yeah, because of a lovely goal. And he has scored a few goals. He has done okay. Why wouldn't you keep him? Really?
Exactly.
But then you think you got Mopé. No one's probably going to buy him. Welbeck. Okay, you kept him. Can Brighton justify having spending big money and keeping those 2? I'm not sure.
Well, that's the thing. Well, I don't think they can, but do they? Yeah, that's my question. Do they cash in on Bissouma?
Can they justify putting the money in for trading in Bissouma for another striker when you've already got 2?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. So, What Basuma at Spurs? Do you see him? Would you like him? A bit too similar to what you've got, or would you?
Yeah, I think we need a central midfielder. So obviously I want Winks and Sissoko out of the club. I would probably like Oliver Skip back in the club. So there is space for another central midfielder.
Okay.
In my eyes, had been Sabitzer. It'd been my choice, but I was playing a game last night. I mean, in my head, but it's a question for people.
Yeah. God.
Because obviously run a spreadsheet, don't I, of Spurs transfers? But I was like, okay, what if I was going to? I obviously highlight where we need. So I've got the players out want to get out, and I've got gaps. What if you were to only be able to bring in players who are currently playing in the Premier League?
Oh, okay.
And viable ones. It's not like I'm replacing like Sissoko with Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
But I think that he would be my next choice. That kind of central midfielder. You know, Ndombele, Basuma, Højbjerg. Probably got a nice little Ndombele and Basuma. You're not getting the ball off them, really.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Not bad. We have got a quick question, so we'll come to the question in a second. But relegation battle for Brighton, is it?
I think the relegation battle is almost over, thanks to
the next result that we'll talk about.
Damien Duff Derby.
Yeah, but very quickly then, thoughts. What are both of our thoughts on Leeds' season? Is a question we've got in the chat. So we'll go with you first. What do you think about Leeds' season?
Oh, it's been very good. I think there's a tendency to go. Leeds were an excellent Premier League side in years gone by, and they have an excellent manager. Therefore, I think that people expect a lot more from them.
Yeah.
You've got Bielsa, who's achieved a lot. You've got Leeds, who have previously achieved bits and pieces, and you know we remember them fondly. But they're currently top half. Yeah. Top half of the table. They're ahead of Arsenal. They're within touching distance of kind of Aston Villa. Who I think everybody would say Aston Villa had a good season, and so I think and they're ahead of Wolves as well on the table. And so I think very good season.
That's how I would sum it up. I think you can't ask for much more from a promoted team to finish 10th, like being 10th at this point of the season, I
think people maybe hope for more of them because I think I think Bielsa will work his magic, but I think that's a completely fault.
Do you think it's our
relegation battle?
Do you think it's our age group of fans that are thinking, well, Leeds could have done better because it's Leeds? Like, if you asked a fan now who's like 12 or 13, they'd be like, well, it's a great season because they were in the Championship for this, like, so many years. They're in League One not too long ago. So, do you think there is a bit of...
Yeah, I think there's a nostalgia going. Yeah. It's Leeds. It's Ellen Road.
Yeah, it's Leeds. It's Ellen Road. It's a Premier League team. They should be there. But yeah, interesting. I'd agree with all your thoughts on that, yeah. So, yes, on to the aforementioned Damien Duff Derby then. You like Kai Havertz?
I do like Kai Havertz. He's showing a bit more. I like it when players who've been spoken about for a while and they've got a lot of potential start fulfilling it. It's nice to see. Yep. It's nice to see new players coming through and being elite players. I'd say Mason Mount's probably the one who's at the top of the pile at the moment, and out of those three, Pulisic and Havertz. But Havertz is getting some goals. He's getting involved. And he's probably look back and this has been one hell of a tough season.
Yeah.
With COVID and new league and two managers, it's not going to be how he dreamt it would go.
Yeah, I'd agree.
He's coming good at the right end. You never know. He might have a Champions League winners medal to show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible to think of. I think you mentioned Mason Mount before, and what I found and thought, I sort of combined the two words to say found in this game was that Mason Mount has become so crucial that Tuchel played him out of position. He still had a great game. Like, he brought Kai Havertz in behind the striker in the attacking midfielder. I dropped Mason Mount back ever so slightly. Still had a great game. Still played really well, and it shows how well he is playing at the moment.
Yeah, it's becoming. I mentioned earlier the Gareth Bale situation. Gareth Bale was becoming our man of the match every week when he really burst on the scene and kept improving. It's almost like they need. It's like, okay, we know Gareth Bale's man of the match. We know Mason Mount's man of the match. Who's the other one? I imagine Barca have something similar with Messi. Like, obviously Messi's man of the match, but other than Messi, the MOTM,
man of the match other than Messi.
Other than Mount,
the Mount. Yeah.
I mean, that touch and pass for a goal is just like, it's lovely. It's so good. It's so nice. Plucks it, plays it, dinks it.
So we mentioned that the the Brighton Leeds game was. You said you saw the lineups and thought Brighton might get a result and could get a win. Did you look at this at any point and say that Fulham could get something out of the game?
No, their slinky is contracted. They have got their form bottom of the form table. Scott Parker's done a good job. It'd be interesting to see if Scott Parker's got the appetite to go again.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Obviously, Daniel Farke has done it with Norwich, so they finished first, 20th, and first again. So basically, 21st, 20th, and 21st if you did it in full order. So he only improved his position by one. But yeah, I mean, Scott Parker obviously went down with Fulham at the end, has got promoted, gone down again. Does he have the appetite? Because there's a number of loan players there, remember?
Yeah.
Where he thinks, I'm just tired of this. But I don't see him getting a Premier League job.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I see potentially Newcastle taking a punt when they get fed up of Steve Bruce.
Newcastle player?
I see Steve Bruce getting the punt and Newcastle potentially going for Scott Parker.
Oh, that's a lovely shout, Dave. Yeah.
Not just a hat rack, my friend. Not just a hat rack.
I mean, who doesn't like Scott Parker?
Exactly.
Who? I mean, a lot of people also want Newcastle to do well.
Yeah.
Can see it. He's already managing a side in black and white. Can see it. He's played for Newcastle. Can see it.
Yeah, and he got Fulham playing some decent football at times as well. Like, I mean.
Oh, Dave. Yeah.
It's all there, isn't it? It's written in the stars, mate.
Because as Steve Bruce has got a rolling, impervious contract because he keeps doing okay.
Yeah, but fun coupons, mate. If Steve Bruce goes, next manager, Scott Parker.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a great shout from Dave. Let's see how that plays out this summer. Let's move on to the Kazoo Derby, Everton v Villa, and I never thought Everton were going to win this. Never.
I thought they had a chance, and then was it Holgate, the defender, who decided to mess around with the ball, give it straight to Ollie Watkins, probably their informed striker. And I
can't remember what game it was the other week. We spoke about how much Yerry Mina is actually underrated because when Mason Holgate's playing centre back, you're like, I think it might have been Spurs, wasn't it? Michael Keane and Mason Holgate just kind of not knowing who each other was. And in this situation, Mason Holgate didn't know where he was. And
yeah, he's not. He's not had the best of times. He's been playing fullback quite a lot, so I do think that.
Yeah, and he's also been the stopgap. And rather than playing, like Ben Godfrey's gone above him in the rankings, and I can understand why. Ben Godfrey's a bit of a beast, really. But Everton's home record this season, this year, 2021, 1 win, 3 draws, 6 losses.
Yeah, dreadful.
And so it's very similar to the kind of early 2000s of Spurs, Everton, and Villa being pushing for European spots. Spurs are normally the 4th place, maybe 5th place side, then Villa, then Everton. It's all a bit too familiar like that for me.
It reminded me a bit of Villarreal Arsenal, actually, where Jordan Pickford had a pretty good game and was on the losing end. Like we vilify Jordan Pickford quite a lot on this podcast. Short arms, probably shouldn't be England's first choice keeper. Made a good number of good saves, kept Everton in it.
Ever since he's got a little bit of a hairdo going on, rather than his whatever it was, he's been a bit better. Yeah. I have no problems about Pickford being number 1 England goalkeeper because there isn't anyone. It's not like keeping out an elite goalkeeper. Dean Henderson is probably could be, but. No, and then for England he's done well. In this bit, you know what I always say: points on the board are better than games in the hand. I don't say the hand. I feel like I need to the board, the hand. And both sides have proved this. Both sides are always languishing, kind of 8th, 9th, 10th, due to games in hand. Amazingly, even with a Villa win, I both seem to have squandered this.
Yeah,
it's obviously a good win for Villa, but they haven't progressed up the table.
No, it's very strange, isn't it? Because you'd think that this would leapfrog them somewhere. But, Villa can take a lot of positives from the season as a whole, like we mentioned before when we asked about the leads.
Where they were last season and where they are now.
Exactly. Yeah. Signing of the season, Martinez? I mean, I hands up, I was like, that's a terrible signing. They've signed him on the back of an FA Cup run, Martinez. But he has been superb.
I'm waiting for the slump, though, and how he gets himself out of the slump.
How long have you been waiting for that slump, though?
Oh, absolutely, but slumps do happen. Yeah. I mean, you look at Alisson Becker this season. He was riding a wave of performing well with Roma, and I hadn't watched much Serie A, but he seemed to be riding a wave. Then this year, some troubles have manifested themselves. Obviously, personal issues at the back end of that. Yeah. Beforehand, he was still having some issues. it all happens around. He's been fortunate. Villa's back five has been almost ever present.
Yeah, very true.
Martinez, Ings, Concert, Target, and Cash. Cash is a weak link for me. Cash has been poor out of a lot of them, but you start making that a bit disjointed. We'll see the true Martinez next season if that happens.
Okay. All right then. So quickly moving on to previews very quickly because we're running out of time. Josh, give me your answers. Newcastle or Arsenal?
Newcastle.
Oh
no, Joe Willett can't play, can he?
No.
They'll be 2-1 down and can't claw that goal back.
So you're changing that to Arsenal, are you? Or are you going draw?
No. Draw.
Yeah. Man United or Liverpool in the tie of the weekend?
Honestly, don't know where you go. Google this. I don't know where this is going. I'm going to go. My initial thought is Liverpool because they haven't played midweek.
I'll go Man United, obviously. That's what I'm going to back the boys. Well, we've changed the seats around Old Trafford, haven't we? So they're not red anymore; they're black. So which means we play better because the players don't get distracted. So that was. Did you not hear that in the news? So you know the banners around the side of the pitch that cover the empty seats. They were all red, and the players apparently complained to say that it was very hard to differentiate your teammate and the seats. So they've now changed all the banners to black, and since the banners have become black, we haven't lost at Old Trafford. So,
okay.
Oh no, we've won every game at Old Trafford. I think it is since they went black. So, yeah. So I'm back in the black banners and Man United. Come on, here we go. Yeah. Spurs or Sheffield United?
God, hope me if it's not Spurs.
Yeah, West Brom or Wolves on Monday?
Wolves obviously went into that surprise loss last Sunday, didn't they, after we spoke to Burnley. I think West Brom might do them. Okay,
and Burnley, West Ham?
West Ham have got some defensive suspension issues. I'm not sure if Balbuena's suspension got overturned, did it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Still out. Yeah. I feel like Burnley will be high in confidence and just wallop it, and West Ham will start to peter out. Yeah.
So there you have your previews and predictions for the next one. So let's move on to I got a wiki file for you. Hey, so Josh has a wiki file on the screen. It's sent from me to him, and it's a player straight out of the womb and into a youth academy.
And into Leeds United's youth academy at that. So a Yorkshire lad. And then before we were born, right until the year Dave and I were born, 83 to 86, he was at Leeds, 72 appearances, 1 goal. Moved, I don't know what the status was of these sides at the time, but moved to Oldham Athletic 4 years after that, 86 to 90, 167 appearances, 4 goals. But made his name 12 years at Manchester United. 1990, 2002, there for the big stuff. The big stuff he was there for. 368 appearances, 22 goals. And then for a couple of seasons after that, 2002, 2004, went to Wolves. 75 appearances, 2 goals, meaning a total of 682 appearances, 29 goals. So, goal every kind of 20 games.
Any thoughts? First thoughts?
Got nothing, Dave.
Oh my word, he's got nothing. And I thought this would be an easy one.
You'd have thought, wouldn't you? Oh, do I? I may have a thought now because of the Wolves issue, actually.
Right.
I've got a feeling this might be a fullback.
So Ross has it in chat.
Yes, I think just to keep this pulling this along, I would like to see his international stats just to confirm my suspicions.
So,
please.
International stats, 1986 to 1987, Republic of Ireland, under 21, 3 appearances, no goals, 1 appearance for under 23s, 1 appearance for the B team, 1990 to 1999, 56 appearances, 4 goals. 56. Not that many, is that? That's not that many.
What did Fergie do to the players for other outside of it? Like Ryan Giggs barely played for Wales and Dennis Irwin barely played for Republic of Ireland.
I know, and there he is. But can you tell me a very interesting fact about the name Dennis Irwin and this player?
Not actually his name?
It's not actually his name. Dennis is his middle name. Joseph Dennis Irwin is his full name. So he went by Dennis for some reason. But yeah. Have I got an interesting stat for you? An interesting personal fact other than that's not his name?
Yeah. You've already exceeded expectations, Dave, with Dennis Irwin, one of the most bland, boring fullbacks known to man.
Yeah, underrated.
Just
underrated.
A solid, play left, back, right. I mean, I know, as I mentioned earlier in the pod, Owen East
Big fan.
Birthday boy. Big fan of Dennis Irwin.
Big fan of Dennis Irwin, yeah. So, and that's actually quite a coincidence that I picked it on Owen's birthday as well.
Yeah.
Dennis Irwin. If you go to his Wikipedia page, it has a nice photo of Dennis Irwin in 2017 as his main picture. Scroll down ever so slightly, look under his national team stats, and then it has, in 1992, a photo of Dennis Irwin outside the cliff. And he's taken a photo next to 2 bins. So, must have been a better photo out there than him of that. But yes, Dennis Irwin. Well done, Josh. Well done, Ross, as well, in the chat. Ross has had a stormer today in the quiz.
Knows his stuff.
And the Wikifile knows his stuff indeed. But that does bring us to the end, Josh, unless you've got any other business.
Nothing from me.
Okay, I have one thing for you in any other business. We have one question in chat that I left till this point. Where do Chelsea need to strengthen in the summer? Give me a position, give me a player.
Goalkeeper.
Oh, again. He's gone goalkeeper again.
Yeah, Mendy's... Kepa's obviously rubbish. Mendy's not rubbish, but not great. And they will go for Donnarumma.
Oh, on a free. Contract expiry. Free transfer. He's not going to join the Barcelona free transfer bandwagon.
Or the Juve bandwagon, because Juve are looking maybe not even finishing in Champions League.
Very true. Very true. Well, that does bring an end. I'm glad we managed to get that question in just in time. So thank you so much for listening. If you've been with us live on the YouTube chat, brilliant stuff. Ross, round of applause for all your correct answers. Thank you for all the questions as well. If you want to get hold of us before next week's show, you can find us on Twitter at Football Talk. But remember,
there's no A in football.
There's no A indeed. See you next week, and we'll be back then. Cheers.